Hi everybody, this is Katie. Welcome to episode 5 of Dreamy Cloud Island. Today I am working on a cafe area in front of Sherb and Pate's house. This bottom area down here is for later. I'm going to put the rock garden down here, so I'm just working in the main area up here by the two houses. I did decide that the concept was working, so I also spent about 12 hours putting the island together. You can see I went ahead and terraformed a bunch of random little island spots all throughout and have moved the villager and store our buildings and houses all up into place. So the layout of the island is complete and we can go about decoration and design for all the little areas up here in the clouds. Today, I'm working in this area right here where I have moved Sherb and Pate's house. It's going to be a cafe. If you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I usually start with the pathing for any area that I'm working on. For all of the areas in this particular island, I am using this really unique cloud custom pattern that I designed, and it is covering everything. So even though I'm calling it a path pattern, it really is just a ground covering pattern going all over most of the areas. I'm trying to make it look as if the buildings and the decorations are sitting up in the clouds, and that's what it was created for. The first step I usually do is go around the entire area and put kind of the border, the edges on everything in place. I find it's a little bit faster, it's a little easier that way. As you can tell, I do a lot of kicking the pattern out of the way because I'm still sort of learning the placement and getting a feel for where this pattern is going. It's a little intricate, but I'm really pleased with how it's working. After I go around the full outside perimeter, I come in and I go around the edges of any of the buildings in the area because I really like the really scalloped, kind of cute little cloud edge to go up against the buildings. Even though the buildings should be in the clouds, I find that the area looks a little cleaner this way than with the cloud pattern just straight up against the building. After that, I set about filling in the entire inside of the area, and this is actually easier if you go straight into the app itself and just start setting patterns down. I'm using a variety of different fill patterns for the inside so that it looks a little bit interesting. Here you can see the whole area now that it's completely filled in, and I'll probably make some adjustments, but that'll be for later. The next thing I do is start setting down the larger decorations. I am trying to use these larger decorations to outline where the cafe area is going to be. I want there to be room between the cafe space and the buildings so that everybody can easily walk and get around. But I also want the cafe to be large enough to have several tables and chairs. So I'm just kind of playing with the space. You can see there, just scooting things about. I went ahead and dropped that mushroom down. I am treating that large mushroom from the Mario collection as the tree. I need height. Up here in the clouds, I'm not going to put any trees down because it wouldn't make sense to have trees in the clouds. And I wanted something a little bit more whimsical, and I think it helps with the perspective that the green trees are all down in the grass below. So I went ahead and have decided to use a lot of the blue mushrooms because they give me this big, beautiful height element in place of trees in the area I'm decorating. You can see here I'm using a ton of the different items from the new Sanrio cards. I'm really glad that I was able to get a hold of a package of those because it's enabled me to utilize those items, and I do use a ton of those items in this build. I really am sticking with pastel colors, and so it's been fun to have those to include. I'm just trying to decide here where people are going to walk, where it's likely that they'll come over from the other island. So that's part of why I decided to move the couches over. I'm using these Nova stars and star clocks as well as star fragments in every single one of the builds. They are in all the areas. In the middle of putting him down, Sherb decided to sit in the couch. I couldn't help myself. I had to stop and chill with him. But then I went back to work because I have a lot of things I need to put down still. I'm also using the festival lamps and the festival balloon lamps in most of the areas. They're kind of the things that light up, and because I intend on saving the dream address for this island during twilight or early nighttime hours, I really wanted a lot of things in the area that light up, and partially because I like them, but also because it really makes the area come alive. If you're going to do different types of nighttime saves, it's really nice to have a lot of things that illuminate because they show up so well. I really do like the way that these lights work in the game. That's one of the reasons I chose decorations such as that ice cream cone. I had more decorations for this area than would fit in my pocket, and so I use a system that is pretty common for me in that I filled my pocket up first with any of the items that were larger or that are capable of having items put on top of them, such as tables and shelves and stalls. And I find that it's easier to put those items down first to figure out their spacing and then put the smaller items around them. And right now I'm working on the second round where I have smaller things like the espresso maker and the teacups, and they're going down very easily because they go on top of items that are already in place. So I do definitely recommend working in that way. If you have more items that you want to put down in an area, then you have space in your pockets to fill. It's just a little bit faster when you're trying to decorate an area such as this. When the game came out last year, we didn't have much in the way of food items to go down on top of surfaces, so it's really nice that we've had enough updates that we've been able to include new things such as the pie and the pom-pom purim pudding that I was able to put down. After getting some items down, I am changing out the pattern on the ground to add in a little bit of texture and personality. I don't want the cloud to be completely just one big stretch of the pattern, so I'm trying to just put some seams and creases in place in an attempt to make it look billowy and interesting. I know it doesn't make sense to have flowers growing out of the clouds, but it is a whimsical, imaginative dream world, and I've decided I really like the pop of color that comes from the flowers. So I'm creating a bunch of little cubby holes where I can just tuck flowers randomly into a spot, and of course they need to be planted on the grass, so I do have to remove patterns from underneath the flower. I wish we could plant the flowers through a custom design because then I could plant them straight through the cloud, and that would be ideal. Here you can see I'm putting down the hedge standee that I have customized into winter, so it looks kind of like a cloud. It's supposed to be snow in the game, but I really love how much like a cloud this little standee is, and I'm hoping it creates a little bit more of this illusion that we are floating up in the clouds. So I'll probably include them in most of the areas here for this particular design. Another little finishing detail I'm incorporating into all of the islands are dropping star fragments of different colors. I know that dropping items is going to keep me from having a 5-star island, but I'm not really concerned about that. And I really like the way that they look both colorful and interesting, but they also just glow brightly when we get to nighttime. And again, I'm trying to save this as a nighttime island, so it seemed really appropriate to add in the extra light. All right, it's time for a final tour. You can see with all the different elements, the area is very whimsical, a little eclectic, and I think very cute. I am super happy with the way that Dreamy Cloud Island is starting to come together. It makes me happy. It makes me want to just grin and play on the island. I love down here in the cafe with a different combination of some of the items put together. It's fun to see so many pastel things. And Sherb up here looking perfect. He has been out playing in the area ever since I put it down, which is really fun to see. Let's take a look here at night. You can see a little bit of that sun setting in the background, which gives kind of a pink glow to the sky. That is definitely when I'll be saving this island. And all of the things that light up being beautiful and fun. I love the way that the different colors are so playful. Kidcore islands are definitely very fun to create, and I love seeing so many completed areas next to each other now where I can run through and see the concept come to life. I hope you guys found something useful here and that you continue creating in this game. Until next time, have the best Animal Crossing day.